ta'ala teaches us a valuable lesson. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, كُلُّ نَفْسٍ ذَائِقَةَ الْمَوْتِ, that each and every soul will taste death. And the taste of something is as it has been prepared. When a person prepares a good meal, the meal will taste good. If a person prepares something well, it will be well. Similarly, when we prepare for our death, this is something that when we taste it, it will be something that that shows a good outcome. We also find in the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam the importance of remembering our reality and death. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ya ibadallah, kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharib, aw ka'annaka 'abiru sabil, wa'udh nafsaka min ahli al-qubur." Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Ya ibadallah, O servants of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharib." Live in this world as though you are a traveler, as a stranger. Or كَأَنَّكَ عَابِرُ سَبِيلٍ, or as though you're a traveler, someone who is passing through. وَعُذْ نَفْسَكَ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْقُبُورِ, and consider yourself, count yourself to be from amongst the people of the grave. This is something that's a reality, and this is something that each and every one of us needs to prepare for. So inshallah today we'll go over a number of things. First we will go over the theory. We'll go over the theory of what should be done, and then inshallah we'll have a practical demonstration of how a body should be washed and also how the kafan is wrapped. So a few terms that we should know before we go into the session. Number one, when we say the mayyit, this refers to the body of the deceased. The ghusl is the washing of the body. The janazah is the funeral prayer. The kafan is the clothing that is used to cover. And the tadfeen is the act of the burial. Inshallah, so we'll go, the things that we'll cover today, inshallah. Number one is what should be done when a person is passing away. What are the immediate things that need to be done? Number two, how do we wash the body? Number three, how do we shroud and put the kafan on the body? Number four, the methodology of the janazah prayer. And number five, the actual tadfeen, the burial process. Now, the first step as we'll go over is what to do when a person passes away. When a person is passing away. The first thing to do is that it is sunnah to let the person lie on their right side, facing the qibla, or to be positioned to lie on their back with their feet facing towards the qibla. So we know if a person is about to pass away, then either their right side should be facing the qibla or their feet towards the qibla. And the head should be raised with a cushion to face the qibla. So if the legs are facing towards the qibla, the head should be raised a little bit towards the qibla. Now, if the person is in the pangs of death, if the person is in sakarat, Surah Yasin should be recited around. Right? Surah Yasin should be recited amongst those who are around the person. The third point is talqeen. Now what talqeen is, we know that each and every one of our goal, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from amongst those whose last phrase is La ilaha illallah. So when a person is in the throes of death, when a person is in sakarat, it is advised that someone around them says the shahada in an audible manner. And we should not tell the person, say La ilaha illallah, but talqeen is that La ilaha illallah is said, so the person is reminded to say it. And once the person utters the shahada, then there should be no talking. As soon as a person says La ilaha illallah, then no one should talk, no other worldly matter should be said. We should try our best to help the person say La ilaha illallah as their final phrase. So this is the things before the person passes away. Now, immediately after a person passes away, there are a number of things that need to be done. Number one is the eyes need to be closed. The eyes need to be closed, and the jaw should be kept in place by tying a piece of cloth. Right? So the reason for this process is that the body needs to be in a straight manner so that the ghusl and the burial can be done in a proper manner. And this should be done while the body is still hot. A couple of hours later, when it is cold, it will be difficult to position the different limbs. So number one is that there should be a strip of cloth that is used to tie around the mouth so that the jaw is closed, and also to ensure that the eyes are closed. Number two is all the limbs should be straightened. So if a person's hands are out or they're folded on the body, then they should be straightened and put on the sides. And also, if the legs, if the knee is up, they should be also straightened. And this is initially when the person passes away, the body is still warm, and this can be done. But it should not be forced to. It should not be forced. We should not break anything. To the best of the ability, it should be done. So one piece of cloth should be tied around the face. Another piece of cloth should be used to tie around the ankles. Right, so the face should be closed, and also the feet should be closed together. And if needed, the toes can also be tied together. So this is to ensure that the legs are together, and also the jaw is closed and the body is straight. And this is when all accessories should be removed from the body. So if there's any jewelry, there's necklace, there's watches, whatever is on the body should be removed at this time. So this is the initial process of when a person passes away. The next thing to do is the ghusl process. Now, where we live, there are many guidelines in the county, and there are different mortuaries where the body is taken. So the body is taken there, and it is kept until the time for ghusl is there. And the system is there, they have the different facilities that are needed. So inshallah, we'll go over the theory right now, and then we'll go over the practical method. Number one, ghusl, washing the body of the deceased, is a fard kifaya in our deen. What that means is that when a Muslim passes away, at least a person or a group of people should do the ghusl. And this is a responsibility on behalf of the entire ummah. As long as there's a group of people that are taking care of the responsibility, this fard is taken care of for the ummah. And there's a lot of virtue, as Rasulullah ﷺ said, whoever gives ghusl to a deceased, he will be cleansed from his sins like the day his mother gave birth to him. And whosoever enshrouds, whosoever puts the coffin on the deceased, Allah Ta'ala will clothe him with a garment from the garments of Jannah. Right? So there's tremendous virtue for this, for giving the ghusl and also tying the coffin on the person's, on the deceased person. Now there are a number of rules for giving the ghusl. There are rules pertaining to the person performing the ghusl. Number one, it is recommended that the person who is performing the ghusl should be in the state of wudu. It is recommended, not necessary, but it is recommended to be in the state of wudu. Number two, if a woman is in the state of hayd or nifas, if a woman is in the hayd or the postnatal bleeding, then it is makruh and disliked for such a person to give the ghusl. Number three, it is preferable for the close relatives to give the ghusl. Right? So one person can be there to guide, but it is preferable for the relatives to give the ghusl. However, if they are not present or they are unable to do so, then any pious person or a person who is well versed with the process of doing it, they can do it. Point number four is that only males should give ghusl to males, and only females should give ghusl to females. Right? So this is something that is, males should do it for males, and females should make ghusl for females. If a male child passes away, the male should give them ghusl, and if a female child passes away, the female should give them ghusl. However, if it's an infant or a really small child, then the ghusl can be carried out by a male or female, irregardless of the gender of the child. So these are a few things to keep in mind. Number one, that the person performing the ghusl should be in the state of purity. Number two, it is preferable that there are the close relatives who do it, and if they are unable to do so, then a pious person or a person who is well versed in the process can do it. And finally, it should be a male should do it for a male and a female for a female. Now there are certain items that are required, and as we mentioned earlier, a lot of these places, the ghusl khana or the mortuary, they have the things that are ready. However, just a list of things that are needed. Number one is we should have water. There have been cases where myself and Brother Danish went for the ghusl, and we needed to take buckets, right? So these are things to keep in mind. Number one is that we should have the water for the ghusl that we take. Number two, there should be a bench or a platform, right? There should be a platform on which the ghusl should be done. Inshallah, with the dummy on the table, we'll show the process of doing it. Now, in the beginning, the point number three is that there should be one bucket of warm water for the beginning, and number two, there's second bucket that is mixed with camphor that should be used towards the end of the ghusl. Now, if one needs more water, it is permissible to take more water, but it is recommended that there are 2 buckets used. Point number 4 is that we have the jugs to pour over. This is the item, but however, in the mortuaries they have hoses and stuff, which is permissible as well. We also find from the Sunnah of Rasulullah ﷺ that if there are leaves of the lotus tree available, then these should also be mixed with the water. However, we may use soap or whatever other cleaning material is there. Also, point number 6, which is important, is cotton wool for cleaning the mayyit at the time of istinja. So as we'll go over, the first thing that is done is istinja, and this we need something to clean to use for the istinja, and cotton wool is used. 2 pieces of material for covering the satr and gloves will be used for the istinja, so that one does not touch the private organs of the deceased with one's bare hands. So, along with the materials that are needed for the actual kafan itself, other materials should be used to cover the body while the washing is happening. And it is recommended that the material that's used is not just a normal white cloth, because once that gets wet, it becomes see-through. So a thick material should be used, and also one should use gloves, especially for istinja. 1 clean sheet will be required to cover the body and satr of the deceased during the ghusl. Another clean sheet will be required to cover the deceased before and after the ghusl. So we should have a number of sheets that are there to cover the body during this process. And 1 clean towel or a piece of material for drying the deceased. So these are a few items that are required that we should have prepared and ready before giving the ghusl. Now the preparation for the ghusl. Once the necessary requirements for the ghusl and kafan are found, the deceased will be placed on a stretcher and taken for the ghusl, right? So they'll be taken into the room for washing. At this point, any type of fragrance can be used. They use the sticks that are burned or anything else. Any type of fragrance can be used to remove the odor that may be emanating from the body. Point number 2 is when the deceased is brought to the room for the ghusl, their body should be laid on the place prepared for ghusl. So beforehand there should be a platform where the body will be placed on. It is permissible to place the body in whichever position is easy. So for the ghusl, it is not required to position the body in any specific manner. Now once the body is placed, then the sheet will be put on and the clothing will be removed. However, before removing removing the clothing, the area between the navel and the knees will be covered with a thick, non-transparent cloth so that the satr will not be exposed. So this is important, is that the material should be put on top before the clothes are removed so that the satr is always covered. And we know the satr, the awrah, for the male is from the belly button to below the knees, and also the satr for females, for other females, is the same as the satr or the awrah of men. Point number 3 is one should ensure that the place in which the deceased is being ghusl has a drain to allow the water to flow out easily. This is why it is better to do it in mortuaries or places that are have these systems in place so that the water can be drained out. Now the method of ghusl, the method of bathing the deceased. The first point is start off with istinja. So we brought the body into the washing room. The body is transferred onto the platform. There's a sheet that is put over the satr and the clothes are removed. Now we will commence the ghusl by making istinja, washing the private parts of the deceased. Now whilst making the istinja, one should wear gloves. The private parts of the deceased should not be touched with one's bare hands, right? So the glove should be used. And the istinja will be carried out by inserting the hand beneath the cloth which was placed over the satr. So the cloth was put, or the sheet was put, the clothes are removed, and the person will do the istinja with the hands under the sheet. This will be done so that the satr of the mayyit is not exposed, right? So this is something that we should be really cognizant about, is that the sheet that is placed over there, we should make sure that it does not move away, and the satr should never be exposed while the washing is happening. So this was the first point, was istinja. The second part of ghusl of the body is wudu. Now the wudu for the mayyit will be carried out in the same manner, observing all of the sunnahs. For the khilal of the beard, the fingers, the toes, masa of the ears, all of these will be done. However, the only difference in making wudu for the deceased is that they will not gargle or nor put the water in the nostrils. However, some scholars have said that it is permissible to put some water on a cotton wool and put it in the mouth or nose. Now there's a point here to remember: if the deceased was in the state of janaba, impurity, or a woman was in the state of hayd or nifas, then according to some scholars it is better, although not obligatory, to put water in the mouth and nostrils. So number one, the body was brought in, the sheet was put, the clothes were removed, and istinja was carried out. Number two, wudu was made. And wudu, we carry out all of the same parts of wudu: washing the face, making khilal of the beard, washing the hands, khilal of the fingers and toes. It will be done in according to the sunnah method of making wudu. So number one, istinja. Number two, wudu. Now point number three is the actual ghusl itself. Point number one is that the water used to wash the mayyit will be heated to a moderate temperature with lotus leaves or any other cleaning agent, right? So the water should be warmed up, and some soap or something should be used. If soap is not available, if the lotus leaves are not available, then water by itself is also allowed. The first thing that is done when washing is that the head and the beard of the deceased is washed first. So some soap is put and the head and the face and the beard is washed. Point number three, the maid will thereafter be made to lie on their left hand side, so the right side can be washed first. So the istinja is done, the wudu is done, the head, the beard, the face is washed. Then the maids will be put onto the left hand side and the entire right side will be washed. And this will be done 3 times. So 3 times from the top to bottom, starting from the shoulder, because the head and the face, everything was already washed. Starting from the shoulder till the toes, water will be put, and it will be put in such a manner that from the right side, it will reach the bottom to the left hand side. So this will be done 3 times, and an effort should be made to ensure that water has reached to the other side. Now, the next point is, so this was the first time the body was from the left hand side. Now the body will be turned onto the right hand side. And the same thing will be done is 3 times the water will be poured from the shoulder till the feet. And then what happens after this is done, so one time it was on the left hand side, the second time on the right hand side. Now the maids will be made to sit up. So hold the maid up a little bit, and the stomach will gently be rubbed to ensure that if there's anything that needs to come out, it comes out. If any stool or urine comes out, it will be washed off and istinja will be made for the second time. However, one thing to keep in mind is if anything does come out at this point, we make istinja and continue. It does not nullify the wudu or whatever was done. So if anything comes out, the wudu or the ghusl will continue with just making the istinja. Now finally the mayyits will be made to left on the left side, lie on the left hand side one more time, and the water mixed with camphor will be poured thrice on the entire right side from head to feet in such a manner that the water reaches the other side of the body. Right, so there was left side first, right side, sit up to press everything out, and then one more time on the left hand side, but this time is the final one with water that has some camphor in it. And this time it will be washed the entire time from head to toe. And this will be done for the last time. You will not have to turn it back to the right hand side again. Point number 8, the maids will be dried up with a cloth or towel before he is made to wear the kafan. Atr will be applied to the head and beard, and camphor will be applied to the places of sajda. The places of sajda are whatever touches the floor when making sajda. So the knees, the hands, the places that are the places that touch the ground when making sajda. If we don't have camphor, then some type of itr, some type of perfume can also be applied in the places of sajda. So this was the first washing part. To just recap, number 1, the body is brought in. A sheet is placed over for the clothes to be removed. Then istinja is made, and caution should be given to ensuring that the satr is not exposed. Then wudu is made, and wudu is the same wudu that is made. However, the water, there's no rinsing, there's no gargling of the mouth or the nostrils. If a person does want to, then we can do with some cotton, some water can be touched inside the mouth or nose. And then the body will be placed on the left, the face and the head will be washed, and then the body will be placed on the left hand side, shoulder to toes 3 times. Then on the right hand side, shoulder to the toes 3 times. And then we're made to sit up. We'll press the gently rub the stomach to see if anything comes out. Make istinja if anything comes out. Then one final time on the left hand side, the entire body with water of camphor, and then the body will be dried up. The next part is actually putting on the kafan, enshrouding the deceased with the kafan. Now the method of laying out the kafan and enshrouding the male deceased, the kafan of the male and the female are different. So we'll go over just the kafan of the male. It is sunnah to enshroud a man in 3 cloths. Number 1 is the qamis, or the upper garment, which you can call a kurta, and this is from the neck until the feet. And inshallah we'll go over how this is done. The qamis is cut in a different way. The izar, which is from the head to the toe, and the lifafa, the sheet, which is slightly longer than the izar. So we have a picture here. Number 1 is the qamis. So the lifafa is on the bottom, the izar is on top, and then the qamis. So what happens is the qamis is folded in half, and then it is cut open in the middle, and this is to place the head. And then the top part will be rolled on. So we can see here, number 1, the lifafa is on the bottom, and this is the longest one. And then the izar, which is slightly shorter than that, which will be on top of that. And finally on top will be the qamis, with the opening for the head and the top part rolled up. So inshallah we'll see how to put the body onto the kafan. So this was, everybody got the idea of the kafan itself. Now enshrouding the male deceased. Number 1 is lay down the deceased and put the qamis kurta, right? So ideally the body is on the platform where it was washed. There should be a platform that is adjacent to the body where the kafan is laid out. If not, then it could be dried out and done on the same platform. However, it's easier if it is done on another platform and they are laid out like this. So number 1, the body will be placed onto the qamis, the top part, and the head will be the head will be covered, and this will cover the top part. So the head will be inserted and the rolled part will be opened up. Then the izar will be wrapped around the person, and then the lifafa will be wrapped on top of that. So what happens is, if we go back to the last picture, number 1 is the body will be placed on top, the head will be inserted, and then it will be unwrapped, and then the izar part, the second part, the left part will come up first, and then the right part, and then once again the lifafa, which is on the bottom, the left part will come up first, and then the right hand side. So when enshrouding the deceased, one will place first the left side of the cloth, izar and lifafa, before the right side, so that after folding, the right side of the cloth will be on top of the left side. And then after the mayyit is shrouded in the kafan, a strip of cloth will be tied to the head side and another strip at the feet side to ensure that the kafan does not open. A third strip of cloth may also be tied around the stomach so that the kafan may not get loose while the mayyit is being carried. So 2 strips of cloth, one on top of the head and one below the feet, to tie the kafan. Now the janazah salah itself, number 1 is the way the body is placed for the janazah salah. The mayyit should be placed with the head on the right side of the imam, who will face the qibla. The janazah salah, although it is called salah, it is actually a dua. Right? So it's a dua that is the final dua that is made. So the imam will stand, and on the right hand side will be the head, and the feet will be on the left hand side. Point number 2, the imam should stand in line with the chest of the deceased while performing the salah. So the imam should stand in front of the chest. Point number 3, it is mustahab to make odd numbers of rows. Right? So 3, 5, however many, according to the number of people there, we should try to ensure that there are an odd number of rows. The safs for the janazah salah should be close to one another because there is no sajda to be made. So we can stand closer, maybe half the space that we regularly give for salah. The method of the salah itself, as we know, number 1, we say Allahu Akbar, and then there is the thana, which is Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa tabarak asmuka wa jalla thana'uka wa la ilaha ghayruk, or Surah Fatiha. You can read the thana or Surah Fatiha, and then Allahu Akbar will be said again, where afterwards the durood will be read. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, Allahumma barik ala Muhammad. Then the third Allahu Akbar will be said, and the dua will be read. Allahumma firli hayyina wa mayyitina. If it's a young boy, then Allahumma fir lahu warhamhu wa'afihi wa'afu an. If it's a young girl, Allahumma fir laha warhamha. Or which, if the dua, we just know, Allahumma fir li hayyina wa mayyitina, this is fine. And then the final Allahu Akbar will be said, and then we'll make salam. Now the burial process, putting the body in the grave itself. There are two types of graves that we find in the books of fiqh. The one on the top is called lahad, and the one on the bottom is called shiq. The one on the top is when you see when the ground is firm, then it could be cut out like this, where the space is made, and then the body is placed, and then a piece of wood, a plank can be put. And the bottom is if the soil is soft, the body we place in the cutout on the bottom, and then a plank will be put on top of that. However, we see nowadays the way it is done, generally there is a cement block, so the body we place similar to the one on the bottom. The body we place on the body we place, and the cement block will be put on top. Now this brings us to the end of the presentation. Inshallah, we'll go over the demonstration of the ghusl and then the cutting of the kafan itself. Inshallah, we'll bring the table up here. Inshallah. We didn't have any volunteers, so that is what it is.
We still have volunteers, you guys still want to make happy?
In our fiqh class in South Africa, our teacher had one of the students volunteer. Alright, so inshallah we brought this, Brother Danish brought this piece of material, and inshallah we'll cut it just to show how it should be placed.
He's the Terminator.
Sure.
Say.
So the bottom, the first one we'll put on the one on the bottom is called the lifafa, the sheet. We'll cut it similar size. So the one all the way on the bottom was called the lifafa, and the one in the middle was called the
Izar.
izar.
Are they all same sizes?
So the lifafa and the izar are around the same size. The izar can be slightly shorter, but around the same. They're generally cut around the same size. The only different part was the one all the way on top, which was called the qamis. So we had the lifafa all the way on the bottom, the izar, which was in between, and then on top there is the qamis. So the qamis is placed with the opening, and then this top part will be rolled up. And generally the head is placed between the opening. So this is the first part, and the left hand side of the, we'll first put the izar. And then finally the lifafa, the left side first and then the right side. And then if there are the strips that can be cut, and they will tie the top part and also the bottom part here, and then a final strip we put in between. Any questions?
What's the minimum required? So what's the minimum required of clothing for kafan?
So the minimum requirement is two sheets. But if two are not available, then we find the hadith of Mus'ab ibn Umair radiallahu anhu. It was one single sheet. So the minimum that's could be used is two, but if there is nothing, then whatever there is.
The material have to be cotton or anything like that, or just white?
The material should be white cotton, similar to what is used for ihram.
Some people bring the ihram with them after the Umrah, they can use that. I
Yeah.
heard that they can bring whatever they use for the Umrah, when they die they can use as a coffin,
As long as it's long
Clean.
enough. Yeah.
long enough and clean.
As long as enough material.
Similar question to him. Can we use the same material that we already have if we're using it, if it's a part of our clothes, or would the material have to be washed?
It could be used, but it won't be enough, right? Because these are, it should be longer than the head and go beyond the feet, and you have three of those, so it will be much more that's required. But however, it's not a problem if it's used as long as it's clean and pure. So the main thing is as long as it's pure, it's fine.
And it has to be no stitches, right?
Yeah, just like the ihram.
And the width of the material, how wide should it be?
So it's based on the size of the body.
Size of the body.
So the size of the body. So that's about it.
Do they come with different sizes also if you buy the pre-made kafan?
They do come in different sizes. I think 2.5 yards is the generally for the lifafa that is used.
We also have the Janazah with us as well. The Janazah. So basically, if we don't know who Janazah is, he's what? Sorry, someone
Should go over there.
So it's 2 hours there. So if you don't know who Janazah is, if there is any family that isn't able to afford the funeral fees, he's one of the individuals that helps his families make sure that the burial is taken care of in a Muslim way. Because I remember 2 years back, believe it or not, this actually happened in Torrance Memorial. There was actually a family that they couldn't afford their burial, they actually cremated the body. So inshallah it's never going to happen again. So that's where Janazah, where he makes sure, like one of his things that he focuses on, that he helps families that who can't make ends meet to make these funerals happen. So inshallah, I'll give the introduction to Janazah.
So, Assalamu alaikum again. So basically my goal is this, that, like a lot of burials are happening, and sometimes, a lot of people in America, it's a very trend that they live by themselves, and they're not in touch with their friends. So I always say, so some people die in their home, and then guess what, if you don't pick up the body, it goes to the corner. And it stays there for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If you don't claim, they either cremate or they slice it, means they sell it to the lab. So alhamdulillah, for many years we've been doing behind the scenes. So they reach to us sometime, and then we go and we file a petition in the court, we claim the body. During COVID, we used to do on the Zoom, we file the case and we claim the body is good. So I'm here for one reason, that if you find any elderly brother or sister, if somebody is worried about what's going to happen about that, we have full arrangements. So I can do the counseling, I can explain them the steps. And that as a Muslim, this is our duty. If somebody passes away, we have to do that. So, but people don't know and they are worried. But alhamdulillah, Family Relief USA is really dedicated for that. That we get calls day and night, and we have 24/7 service. So from if it's the death happened at home, or some care home or the hospital, we are here. So most of the hospitals, we try to read them, and the nurses know our number, they call us. So inshallah, it is a good service for our Muslim community. And alhamdulillah, our goal is to save, we avoid the cremation. Because of the cost, brother, I tell you, I was coming from my work. I stopped at the Rancho Masjid to pray Isha. And what happened after Isha, Imam Mark McKinley just finished the Isha and he said, I want to share something. And he shared that there was a brother and sister, they cremated their mother. So they go up here, they don't know what to do, it was expensive, and they do the cremation. So normally, we get a call, especially from the interfaith family, like, people who are revert. Our Spanish brother, African American brother, and they really feel alone that nobody's helping. They go to the Islamic center, some of the masajid doesn't have much fun, so basically they refuse. So here we are, when they come to us, I never say no. We don't have a fund sitting there. We do case basis. Like if I need fund, then some people have told me to put in the list. So we send them a request that okay, we need $3,000, and then people send us some money, and then we say okay, we already completed the goal, and we stop there. And what happened? We are able to do the burial. We use Palmdale and we use Victorville. Victorville is also cheaper, but Palmdale has increased the price now. It used to be $3,500. They charge $500. If you go more than 30-40 miles, now they charge $4,000 plus $100. But if you have any question about anyone and about the burial plot or any process, or anybody needs coffin because the market they sell, but we are two, three friends. We always buy clothes, and then we have a coffin ready. So if somebody wants, they don't have to worry about it. And any counseling question, please reach to Danish, reach to me, and standby is here. You can reach to him, and we can connect you, inshallah. Any question, we are here.
Do you bring your business card or something?
I don't have. I should make a business.
You should, because this is very important information. Or brochure, you have something.
Yeah.
And
Put the brochure on notice board.
yeah, we're gonna put that.
I'll bring the cards and give it to you guys. But right now, if you want, you can note my number, which is 323-913-0444. This is 24/7.
Send the notice.
323-913-0444. And the website name is familyreliefusa.org.
Only LA area.
Brother, we do basically whole USA. Like I tell you, I got it. My friend went to Texas, and his father-in-law passed away. So I called the Epic Islamic Center where Shaykh Qadi is. There the burial is very cheaper. I called them and I met a brother there over the phone. I told him that we will take care of the arrangement. They charge only $3,400 for everything. But unfortunately, California here, the prices are going up.
Would you repeat your number again, please, brother?
323-913-0444.
FamilyReliefUSA.org. Okay. We'll put that in. You have you get the payment through a Zelle account?
Yeah, you can donate us via Zelle. We recommend Zelle, or you can do by check, or you can do by credit card.
Okay.
By credit card, of course, we don't have any admin costs. So whatever you donate, it goes directly to the burial. So Zelle is better because Zelle goes the whole amount. But when you Zelle, you make sure you call us and let us know your email or phone number so we can send the receipt because it's a 501c. And PayPal also decrease our price. Normally, when anybody donate $100, they used to cut $3.54. So I requested them with the IRS paper. So they increase now. They only charge $2.54. So it's even $1 you save is big money,
But then I've seen somewhere there's a burial insurance. How that works? Is that really reliable?
Burial insurance. I don't know. Some people are working. Actually in 2012, this is not insurance. We try to work it out in one Islamic center, but we all have to get together, pour money and everybody pitch in, and then we can do the burial. In Canada, we have a system, which I'm trying to work here too. In Canada, they made a non-profit where they have 400 people are member there. So they charge one-time membership fees. That's it. And anytime anybody died from that member, so they have made a amount, I suppose $9,000. So they divide 9,000 with 400 people. Say it becomes like a $22, so you only pay $22 and the burial is done. But only if somebody die, otherwise you don't have to pay anything. I have that program, I'm working on it, we can make more members, but I'm adding in that one feature that like some people cannot afford. So what I'm trying to do, I will link with the Islamic centers or the non-profits who can like sponsor, let's suppose 3-4 membership, and if somebody die, like Imam Abdul Hafiz from Long Beach, I get a lot of calls from their brothers are Muslim for 30 years, 40 years, and when they die, they have no one. So they call us, and of course, then we do the arrangement. So any question, let me know, or Brother Danish.
Do you take the zakat money also on this program?
Okay, for zakat, also I'll tell you one thing before I tell you, because we also start helping the widow now. What happened, a lot of husband pass away, so widow cannot go back to Palestine or Pakistan, India, so we help them, we take zakat. For the zakat, for the funeral, the way it works, that if somebody donates to zakat, we go and tell the family, this is zakat money, do you qualify? Because you cannot just send them. So then it depends on the family, whatever they want to do. Once you give the zakat to the family, they can use for anything. And I did consult with some Shaykh, alhamdulillah. So I think
life insurance.
Lumita Masjid introduced a program for funeral. Have you seen it? You have seen it?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
They did, but every month they have something like we can pay. There is a flyer for that too, cost $35 a month or something you can decide.
But when are you able to get your program then? How soon
In
that
our
will
program,
be?
I'll come and I'll invite you guys. Where you become a member, just like you pay $99 one time. So we will have let's suppose 400 people. And what we do, anytime any person die, we will allocate, for example, $9,000, right? Without any asking question. How we will collect that 9,000? Out of 400, we will tell them we need 9,000. And once it comes, you divide, everybody pays 22, only when somebody passes away. But some people ask, why should I take somebody else's money? I can afford. But to me, it's imagine as a Muslim, we can help each other. It doesn't have to be you're taking any favor, anything, you're helping. This is the way Ummah grow. I mean, in COVID, we did over 400,000 worth of funeral. Brother, COVID, I didn't tell my family back home, only my wife, my kids know that where I am. Every week, we were in me, Brother Azmi, and John and Kwan, the Norco family funeral, because 5 mortuaries of Muslims were closed. And they didn't close it purposely, they closed it because what if somebody go and sue them? Right? So they closed it. So what I did, I told politely, everyone that anything happened, just call me. So I was getting a lot of calls. And we use Corona, and Live Oak, a lot of places, and there's a lot of burial vigil. That's why 500 graves in Corona got full. So they bought 1,000 more, which has now double grave now. We have graves in Beaumont also, we have Glendora, many places,
If somebody had life insurance, he passed away, that you can have information?
Yeah, the life insurance, the way it works, I tell you, I help a revert family, and the son died in a car accident. He was the only Muslim, 30 years old in Las Vegas, he died.
Oh, no.
So they went to the Islamic center, they were refused. Somebody somehow, I don't know, gave my number. So I said, okay, we'll take it. So we brought the body here. So the family said, we have insurance. But insurance doesn't give the money right away.
Yeah.
You have to do the burial arrangement, you have to pay, and then you have to show proof. So I paid it for that, and it's still I'm waiting for the money. I gave the receipt to the family, now 3 months.
So it's the reimbursement basically.
Yeah. But the one we will start, inshallah, but on that, the program we're starting, we'll have more people from the community as a, because the biggest,
That's a better
the biggest challenge we have, brother, that the trust.
Yeah.
The trust. What happened, people are worried what with the money comes, where the money will go.
That's right.
So you have to prove yourself, you have to do the best you can,
So the one you say there's a program in Canada for
In
you
Canada,
are
they
doing
have,
here?
No, that they do in Canada, we'll do it here too, inshallah. In Canada, it's a
When
very
you
good
gonna
system.
start?
Inshallah, maybe I'll say in 2 months.
Okay.
because I want to document everything. I will have some,
I told them to tell you to make a big poster and put on the notice board for good.
Okay.
You shouldn't be removed from there.
No, but anything like, this is our iman we all have to go with.
Oh,
But a lot of people don't know, and that's why they are worried, So you have to have know that, what to do at the time of death.
yeah.
Police, like anybody die at home, you have to report to the police. And if you don't have a mortuary with you, then they take the body to the coroner. The body going to the coroner is not easy. First, they take time, and then they charge also on that.
What is coroner?
Coroner is the authority here. Is basically, I will say, is a medical lab. They take the body there, they do the examine. They do autopsy, any car accident or anything. So it's not easy, but there's nothing you can do. Even the Bible cannot say no to them. If there's somebody say, oh, don't take the body, if they want to take it, then you have to.
Jazakallah khair.
We have a mortuary in Garden Grove. Corona opened the mortuary last year from the March. Corona was using Narco Family Funeral Home. Now they have their own. And then one of the first one is Islamic Center of Southern California, where my journey started. In LA, they have the mortuary there. And they are the only one who do the embalming. I mean, in Muslim embalming is not allowed, but some of the brothers, they want to send the body outside. So that's the Muslim mortuary in LA, Garden Grove, in Corona, and then of course Palmdale.
Palmdale.
Few more will open, we are working on a couple of them. Yeah, I forgot about it. Yeah, Fontana, the reason I forgot because I was the construction manager there as a volunteer myself, but what happened, they sometimes open, they close, but there's Fontana mortuary there too.
Danish, can you give an update about the Muslim of LA? What's your program activities?
So, now like I told you one more thing, that anytime you find anyone, any kind of any issue, like sometimes people have other issues also, you can call us.
So inshallah, just an update on Muslims of LA. Alhamdulillah, what we've been doing so far is we started building branches. So alhamdulillah, underneath Muslims of LA, we also have Project Hamaya as well. And what Project Hamaya is doing is that they actually have an event tomorrow with Cal State Long Beach. So what these women are doing from the women's side of Muslims of LA is that they're going to start building, making hygiene kits, and all these kits will be given to women that are dealing with domestic violence. Domestic violence within these areas over here. So this is what these women are dealing with. And inshallah, we also have Project Shifa. So what Project Shifa is that Muslims of LA, we're in touch with Torrance Memorial, Little Company of Mary, UCLA Hospital, USC Hospital, just to name a few. And what we're doing is that we're actually building these Quran kits, which comes with the English translation of the Quran. It comes with a prayer mat. It comes with the Dua Shifa book, a miswak, and a tasbih. So all these kits are made, and they're provided to all these hospitals in Southern California. And these kits are given to these hospitals, and these hospitals are giving these kits to all the Muslim patients. And alhamdulillah, it's been given. Actually, I can let you guys listen to it. That's my phone. Just to show you guys how impactful this kit is, this is one of the voice messages I received the other day. So this is from the Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. Okay, so basically what she's saying is that we've provided them about 50 kits.
It's on this speaker when you press play.
And subhanAllah, just the other day, I actually received a phone call from a brother from a USC hospital. And he told me that, he's believe it or not, the reason why we started making these kits is if you think about it, there's actually people that are in hospitals and they feel like they're by themselves. And this brother, he calls me, he's from he got dispatched from USC hospital, and he told me that he was dealing with cancer and he was going through chemotherapy. So they had him there for 2 weeks, and he said he had no family members visiting him, even though he lives in Los Angeles. No family was visiting, none of that. And he's a Muslim brother. And he said that when he received his kits, he started crying. That he said that it made me feel like even though I was going through rock bottom, but someone was there that was making these kits, and it was handed it to me to remind myself that whatever you're going through, that there's actually people out here, Muslim brothers and sisters out here, that are reminding you that make sure you pray, make sure you read the Quran. Here's a dua supplication book that you can still stay in touch with Allah and believe in Allah. And when he received that kit, he called me and he said, wallahi, because of that, he started crying. So this shows you how impactful these kits are. And inshallah, we're going to start continuing pushing these kits out throughout Southern California. Inshallah, we'll keep doing it as well too. So these are just a few of the things that we've been doing. And inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to continue what we're doing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept us as well. Accept us to do this workshop. Thank you so much for Ahmed Umarji for conducting this workshop as well too. And inshallah, I know a lot of people have been asking me when are we going to do it for the women. Inshallah, we're going to do it in about a week or two. The day will be announced when it will be conducted upstairs. And it will be for women only. And inshallah, it's be conducted by one of the alimas who's certified to do it. So inshallah, she'll be conducting it. And inshallah, if anything, we'll start doing more of these workshops where we can benefit the community. And inshallah, little by little, may Allah accept us. May Allah accept the Janazah as well too.
I have one request, brother. You know, in Islam is like always like this. Our religion is direct connection to Allah. Same thing I request, like sometimes people are really, they got scared, they were worried. The ghusl is not tough, the kafan, doing the kafan is not tough, so please come forward, you know. I used to have, in 2012 and 13, I used to have like 20 brothers with me as a volunteer and 13 sisters. I used to just send text to one sister and they all used to come. When the COVID happened, a lot of people just vanished because, you know, and that's, you know, it's understanding like people are worried. But for like, if you get a chance, please come and, you know, go and give the ghusl sometime. It's a big ajr and sawab, you know. So, and if you ever like want to volunteer, you can always reach to us.
Jazakallah khair.